So, everyone's been talking about Kendrick's diss toward Drake last week and Drake's lack of a response. Now, Drake went on Instagram and made a post about the current alliance formed against him. Drake had this to say. Drake says, "They rather go to war with me than admit they are their own worst enemy." Now, people weren't too happy about that response. Many people were saying that this is hip hop, Drake should respond, Drake needs to do this, Drake needs to do that. And I'm here to argue that Drake under no circumstance should respond, at least not right now. If he wants to respond in the future, maybe he should, maybe he could. I don't think, honestly, actually, I'll go even further and say Drake shouldn't respond at all. Now, I want to start off by saying I am a Drake fan, so there is some level of bias here. However, I firmly believe that Drake has absolutely zero reason to respond to this diss. One of the reasons being because Drake can't win. The reason why Drake can't win is because not only is he facing off against the likes of Kendrick Lamar, he's also facing off against Rick Ross, Metro Boomin, Future, Nav, and probably plenty of other people behind the scenes who haven't made their hatred and dislike of Drake public just yet. Y'all remember back in 2015 when Drake went off against Meek Mill? Meek Mill wasn't acting alone. But according to people who are reliable behind the scenes, people like Jay-Z, people like Puff, P. Diddy, people like Swiss Beats, and others were working behind the scenes to get rid of Drake back in 2015. He references this on 30 for 30 Freestyle when he says the higher-ups have conspired against him. They've come together and conspired against him to end his run and send him a message. The lyrics didn't go exactly like that, but this has happened before. This is not something new for Drake's career. However, the people involved in this particular alliance are far more public. They're far more public and they're hopping on songs together. Okay? So for one, Drake is outgunned and outnumbered. It's not like a bunch of goons and empty-headed henchmen have come after him. No, these are actual pretty decent rappers. Kendrick's extremely good. Future's meh as it pertains to going bar for bar. He's more of a melodic kind of guy. Nav, I'm not really sure what he's capable of. He's kind of been in the periphery of like popular hip hop. I'm not sure what he's capable of, but Metro Boomin is a very good producer. And I am of the mind that there are other people behind the scenes working with this alliance to uproot Drake from his throne. Now, Drake cannot defeat this alliance by himself, and if Drake were to respond, no one would actually embrace his response. This is the second reason why Drake should not respond. If Drake were to respond, it would have to be the greatest diss song of all time, and even still, hip-hop won't acknowledge it as being good. This is just the facts. Drake can cure cancer tomorrow and drop a diss track. People are still going to be anti-Drake. The reality is, hip-hop as a culture is tired of Drake being the number one rapper. Now, we're not tired of streaming his music. We're not tired of listening to him. We're not tired of playing his music in the club. We're not tired of playing his music in our personal lives. However, we're tired of him being the guy on the throne. We want to have it both ways. We love his music. We're always going to stream it and enjoy it, whether it's his past music, his present music, whatever. But wouldn't it be so cool if Kendrick was the guy on the throne? We've seen this before. We've seen this before in hip hop. When Lil Wayne was the biggest rapper in the game, we all listened to his music, but on the internet, all you ever saw was Wayne rhymes nigga with nigga. Lil Wayne wouldn't have a job if Tupac was alive. Lil Wayne would be working at McDonald's if Tupac was alive. People slandered Lil Wayne as if he was garbage, as if he hadn't contributed to hip hop what he did. Not only in terms of his own discography, but also the artists he helped put on. He was slandered. Then all of a sudden, his tour bus gets shot up, Birdman throwing drinks at him from the top balcony, he getting seizures, all type of medical issues. Now y'all love Lil Wayne. As a culture, not only are we finicky and fickle and ungrateful, but we're also spiteful as fuck. Where Drake would have to walk away. What did he say on that Yachty thing? A graceful exit. Drake would have to make a graceful exit in order for hip hop to say, damn, I'm not gonna lie, that light-skinned nigga really did do something. That nigga, he really did do something. It would take him surrendering his throne and letting someone else take it for hip hop to say, you know what, Drake actually made an impact and we enjoyed his music while he was here. As of right now, because the Drake run hasn't ended yet, people are tired. It's like Tom Brady. People are tired of seeing this man's face over and over and over again being the winner. They want someone else to be the winner. Not necessarily because they deserve it, but because they're just tired of seeing the same person win over and over again. The point being is, hip hop has a culture of cognitive dissonance narratives that the artist can't beat. Drake can release albums better than Kanye over and over and over again. Hip hop on the internet, hip hop culture will never say Drake is better than Ye. Drake is doing better than Ye. Drake is releasing better music than Ye. This will never happen. It doesn't matter how many superior albums Drake puts out. It doesn't matter how many more features Drake does. It doesn't matter what Drake does. The culture has certain narratives it will not betray. And Drake would be smart to realize there's nothing he can do to uproot and undo these narratives. There are people that actually still believe Drake can't beat Kanye in a versus battle. And please don't bring up that Larry Hoover shit. Drake picked Kanye's set list and his own set list. Drake could destroy Kanye in a versus. That time has passed a long time ago. It's passed a long time ago. Which brings me to my next point about why Drake should not respond. This is a coup attempt. This is a coup d'etat done by Kendrick, Future, Metro Boomin, Rick Ross. My heart is broken that Rick Ross and Drake aren't getting along right now. Like, we can't have nothing, bro. We can't have nothing between rappers going to jail, dying. Rick Ross and Drake now fucking with each other is got to be like one of the biggest tragedies in hip hop in a while. We can't have, bro. I swear to God, bro. Somebody go tell them niggas to get along, bro. I can't, like, this shit, bro. Like, really, bro? Of all the duos to not fuck with each other anymore, Drake and Ross. I can understand Drake and Future. Like, that's a shit that I could let sail. Drake and 21 would hurt, but Drake and Ross? Somebody please patch that. Somebody call French Montana. They say French can patch up any beef. Apparently, French patched it up between Drake and Puff. If he could patch that up between Drake and Puff, he got to be able to patch it up between Ross and Drake, because this is too big of a loss. The reality is that these rappers are trying to remove Drake from the throne without doing it the quote-unquote right way. Now, what do I mean by that? Drake took the throne from Lil Wayne in the early 2010s. Now, he didn't push Wayne off the throne. He didn't stab Wayne off the throne. He didn't do anything crazy. He didn't diss Wayne. He didn't wage war against Wayne. He simply worked his way into being the king of hip-hop. That's what Drake is right now. I know a lot of y'all aren't going to accept it, but sorry, he's not dropping a bunch of Call Me Maybe pop anthems. You can delude yourselves into believing that, but his albums are heavy with rap and R&B. I don't know what more you want me to tell you. It's just the truth. It's just the truth. Y'all complaining about not enough rap being on For All the Dogs, then he dropped Scary Hours 3 and everybody went silent. I didn't hear everybody saying, oh my God, you know what? I was wrong about Drake all along. He really is a good rapper. Instead, the narrative was Drake needs to do this more and maybe he would be one of the greats, as if he hasn't already dropped a litany of rapidy rap bar for bar songs. But I digress. This is a coup attempt. An attempt at removing Drake from the throne because none of these artists individually can make it happen without dissing Drake. Kendrick cannot remove Drake from the throne. I'm sorry. I'm really not sorry, but it's a figure of speech. Kendrick cannot remove Drake from the throne. It's too late. Kendrick took 5 years off. He came back with Mr. Morale and the Big Steppers, which was a good album. I gave it a listen yesterday just to make sure that I'm not running into this discussion just talking crazy as a Drake fan. Mr. Morale and the Big Steppers was a good album, but Her Loss was a great album. Her Loss, in my mind, was musically better than Mr. Morale and the Big Steppers. That 5-year gap, it takes a toll. And Kendrick, honest to God, came back and still in good shape. He didn't come back a total, a washed up rapper who shouldn't be rapping anymore. Like, nah, he came back with a decent amount of skill. He was still capable. But that 5-year time in which he allowed Drake to drop stuff like Scorpion, Best in the World Pack, Dark Lane demo tapes, Scary Hours 2, He allowed Drake to drop Laugh Now, Cry Later, Certified Lover Boy, Honestly Nevermind, and then they met each other for Her Loss and Mr. Morale and the Big Steppers. There is no reality in which all of those projects that Drake dropped while Kendrick was gone, you cannot tell me they were trash. Scorpion was not trash. Scary Hours was not trash. Best in the World Pack was certainly not trash. Dark Lane demo tapes was not trash. Scary Hours 2 was not trash. None of these albums were trash, mid, average, bad. They were all good. Some of them better than others, but they were all good pieces of music, all good bodies of work. Kendrick took 5 years off and allowed Drake to drop all of that. Explain to me in what field we would give the person who's only around every half a decade the throne over someone who's consistently delivered at a high level in that span of time. Never went away, never disappeared throughout all the controversies and all the rumors and all the attempts on his career and all the craziness he's had to deal with. He never went away. Drake has had far more tumultuous moments in his career that would have given him an excuse to say, guys, I can't handle it anymore. I'll be back whenever I can come back and, be in my right frame of mind, but right now I can't be here. Drake would have had every excuse to do that. Kendrick was gone. And you could bring up label issues with TDE or whatever, but Kendrick was gone for 5 years. Drake was not. And it's not like Drake was popping out Call Me Maybe anthems. It wasn't like Drake was dropping Last Friday. Last Friday Night is actually a classic. But y'all know what I'm trying to say. We can act like Drake was dropping Pitbull and Kesha and Flo Rida music, but he wasn't. He was dropping classics like When to Say When, Chicago Freestyle. Like, he was dropping shit like Laugh Now, Cry Later, What's Next, Wants and Needs, Lemon Pepper Freestyle, Omerta, Money in the Grave. Like, he wasn't dropping music that people don't give a fuck about. And this is what people need to realize when I bring up my next point for why he shouldn't respond. The reality is, Drake is not down here with Cole and Kendrick. He's up here. He's above them. Sorry, but I've listened to enough Drake lyrical rapidy rap songs to realize he's got the capability to compete with these two guys. The difference is he's been far more consistent than both of them. There's a reason why he's considered to be at the top by everyone in real life and not internet haters on Reddit. There's a reason for that. The reality is there's no closing of the gap. It's too late, which is why I said before they have to stage this coup against Drake. They can't outcompete him musically. Kendrick's not on Drake's level musically. I'm sorry, he's not. Future? No, he's not. Future is not on Drake's level. He's just not. There's a reason why the majority of Future's number one songs feature Drake. If not like 2 out of 3, I believe 2 out of 3 of Future's biggest songs feature Drake. I believe the majority of Rick Ross's like top songs feature Drake. Drake has been incredibly instrumental and impactful in every single career of these people forming up against him. If I'm Drake, I'm looking down from my ivory tower like I really don't have to engage y'all. Because not only if I do, I can't win against all of y'all by myself, but also none of you are actually capable of fucking with me individually one-on-one, and I also have the luxury of just not responding. If I don't respond, I don't have to deal with the 2-3 other rounds you have in the magazine, because Kendrick Lamar is not Meek Mill. Meek Mill is a guy who's not calculated. Meek Mill is a very passionate guy, some might say emotional, but he's a passionate guy who likes to, shoot first, ask questions later. And we know that because look what happened to him against Drake. However, Drake learned his lesson with Pusha T. Drake was a little bit too excited to shoot back that diss track, W Freestyle, which was great, by the way. He shot back, not realizing Pusha had a nasty round in the magazine, a hollow point, called The Story of Adidon, and it destroyed Drake. It absolutely demolished Drake. And I think what Drake realized was, I can go bar for bar with you. I can spit crazy bars against you. I can have double entendres. I can say, bro, I could be the greatest rapper on this song. But if you bring up some shit that the internet responds to in a way that makes me look bad, I lose the beef. I see people on social media saying, Drake need to respond because rap beef is about lyrics. If anybody knows how untrue that is, it's Aubrey. Bruh, back to back is not what killed Meek. Well, back to back is not what buried Meek. Back to back was what killed Meek. What buried Meek was the memes. Leak Lil, you can't say Meek Mill without two L's, LLL in every single comment section Meek Mill was in. Like, bruh, Meek Mill could not escape the memes, the clownery, the internet. Meek's career really hasn't even recovered yet. He hasn't recovered yet. He just hasn't recovered. Look at the story of Adidon. Drake did very well on W Freestyle. I'd say W Freestyle was lyrically better and just rap-wise better than the story of Adidon. But Pusha T had those special rounds of ammunition prepared for Drake. And you got to give credit to Pusha. He did what he had to do. He came to war prepared with the ammunition he needed, and it worked. Drake realizes and understands, not only from how he did Meek, but from how Pusha did him, I can come at this shit with the best possible fucking bars, and I can still lose. And Drake will still lose, even if he comes with the best possible bars. Because even if Kendrick is incapable of properly responding, guess what the culture is going to say? Drake trash, Drake lost, Drake corny, Drake this, Drake that. Hip-hop culture on the internet has decided they don't fuck with Drake. I don't know why, but they don't like Drake. And the internet will be the sole deciding factor in who wins this beef, not necessarily what happens in the songs themselves. If Drake is smart, he won't even respond at all. He's the bigger and better artist than everyone in this alliance together, possibly even combined. Maybe if you combine them all together, you get a Drake. But individually, they're not on his level. And the reality is, they can't get an album that surpasses his individually. It's not possible for any of them. He's in the position he's in for a reason. If he's smart, he would force them to come at him at least one at a time, or he wouldn't engage. If you're so much better than me, Kendrick, drop an album. Don't diss me and try to bring me onto the battlefield and then snipe me to take my throne. If you're the true king of hip hop, if you're truly my superior, make better music than me. Kendrick can't do that. That's why they're trying to Julius Caesar Drake. They're trying to pull up on him with all these weapons and stab his ass to death because they can't actually surpass him as a musician. It's facts. Kendrick has never had a shit album. I know some people say, oh, like Mr. Morale and the Big Steppers was dookie. No, it wasn't. It was a good album. For someone who was gone for 5 years, good album. But Her Loss was fucking perfect. The fact that 21 performed on that album so well, I don't know like what kind of drills Drake had him doing or like, because there's no denying Drake had 21 tap into a completely different level of potential. Completely different level of potential. There's no denying this at all. 21 was on a different level on Her Loss. The entire album is littered with amazing songs. Best rap album of the entire year. They didn't win the Grammy for it, but it was a better album than Mr. Morale and the Big Steppers. Kendrick Lamar can make deeper, more soul-speaking music than Drake, and that's perfectly fine because you always need music that speaks to the soul. But when we talk about pure musical talent, who can make memorable music that you want to revisit over and over again? Mr. Morale and the Big Steppers is not a revisit album for me. I don't feel the need to go back. It was a good listen. It was like an art piece, like a painting, but I didn't feel the need to constantly go back to it to revisit a feeling or to derive a feeling, to pull a feeling from it. And most people feel that way because most people remember Her Loss over Mr. Morale and the Big Steppers. And we can talk about, oh, numbers don't matter, da-da-da-da-da. They do. Kendrick said, I believe he said that when they're dead, Kendrick's music will live longer than Drake's. It won't. They're both still very much alive, I hope. And as far as I can tell, Drake's music is very much outstreaming Kendrick's now, and they're both alive. You think if they both drop dead tomorrow, Kendrick's music is going to outlive Drake's? You're born last night. I'm sorry, I don't know what to tell you. It's just not going to happen. The only person who could possibly maybe dethrone Drake is Kanye West. Look at what he got going on. He not even in his right mind. If y'all are looking for somebody to take the throne from Drake, it's not Cole. It's not Kendrick. It's Ye. It's Kanye Omari West, and Kanye ain't been the same since 2016. I don't know what happened after that rant about Khaled and Drake being on the radio too much and all of that. I don't know what happened. But after that, bro, Ye for real was never the same. Swear to God. I don't know what happened. But as it pertains to this particular beef, Drake should not respond. Not only should he not respond because he can't beat them all at one time, he shouldn't respond because nothing he says will ever be accepted by the masses. They're going to take Kendrick's side no matter what because they want Drake gone. And number 3, he's a superior artist. What the fuck do I look like giving y'all the throne? You can't outcompete me individually. Kendrick's been in the game as a mainstream artist since 2012. Hello? That was over a decade ago. That was 12 years ago. Kendrick still hasn't surpassed Drake. Why would I, after 14 years of dominating the fucking game, give y'all the throne that you couldn't get individually on your own merit? Why would I open myself up to being destroyed, killed, and thrown off my throne? Why would I risk that when you can't even take it from me straight up? Why? Metro Boomin not even a factor. He's a producer. Why would I, if I'm Drake, give Kendrick or Future the throne? They can't outcompete me. Why would I engage? And if I do engage, y'all ain't gonna admit it even if I out-rap them. Why? For what purpose should Drake even engage this? Now, some people might sit there and say, oh, y'all are making excuses for Drake. It's not excuses. It's called being smart. As I established before in this video, lyrics are not the sole factor of a rap beef. Drake's career is the ultimate evidence of this. Back to Back had some scathing, destructive lines, but it was the internet that demolished Meek. Meek couldn't get up, not because Back to Back did him in too bad. Meek couldn't get up because the internet was having a ball dancing on Meek's grave. It's facts. Drake couldn't respond to Pusha T because the internet, Drake is a deadbeat dad because he won't show us what his son look like, and why won't he post his son, and da. The whole internet thought this nigga was a deadbeat dad. It didn't matter that the nigga got pictures with his son when the nigga was like a baby. It doesn't matter. The internet decided Drake's a fucking deadbeat. Once the internet got you, you're cooked. It's over with. If Drake would have to be born last night to not have learned from either of these beefs that the internet is all it takes for you to lose. And Drake needs to realize it ain't 2015 anymore, where people are like, Drake can't take no L's. Drake can't take no... I remember that. I remember back in 2015, 2016, everybody was like, Drake can never take a loss. All these, stuff kept... Drake set this person up and got them beat up, and Drake this, and everybody was like, who cares? They saying Chubbs put hands on somebody, and everybody's like, Drake's bodyguard beat somebody up. Who cares? No one cared. No one cared. It's not like that anymore, bro. It's not. If it came out today that Chubbs punched somebody opened the door and Chubbs just punched him in the face, bro. If it came out today that Chubbs put hands on Detail, bro, everybody would be like, this corny ass nigga Drake, he always up to some slimy shit. I can't stand this nigga. He can't, bro. Drake breathe wrong, they don't fuck with him. So I would say this: if Drake's smart and not over there, brain fried off hookah, if Drake is smart, this nigga will not respond. Bro, you done been on the top for too long. And I'm not saying that from a hater perspective. I'm saying that from the perspective of these people that don't fuck with Drake. I fuck with the nigga. I love his music. But even I can see, bro, the culture's tired of you. And it's not because you did something wrong. It's not because you fucking did some dumb shit. It's because you've been winning for too long. People want to see the underdog, Kendrick, take the throne from you. Now, realistically, Kendrick's not the underdog. Kendrick has been able to underperform and still be considered better than Drake. Not because his music is actually better, not because he's more consistent, but because Drake doesn't fit the archetype that y'all want. Drake's not dark-skinned. Drake's not from the hood. Drake was on a TV show as a child. Drake is mixed. Drake is Canadian. Drake is literally the opposite of what people envision when they think of hip-hop's messiah. They want somebody that comes from the inner city, someone who understands the struggle, someone who came from poverty, maybe somebody who was gang affiliated. They want somebody who can completely relate to their struggles. Drake ain't that. And he's, in spite of not being what everybody wanted in terms of the archetype, has still managed to dominate. And some people are tired of that. They're tired. Now, we'll finish with this. The culture has decided that they're tired of Drake and they can't fucking stand Drake, and Kendrick is so much better than Drake, and Ye has always been better than Drake. I think Kanye and Drake's relationship is evidence enough of the lengths that our culture will go to try to invalidate someone's success. Remember earlier in the video I brought up Lil Wayne and how despite all the great shit Lil Wayne did back in like 2008, 9, 10, and 11, people still slandered him? It wasn't until Wayne had fallen off from being the biggest rapper in the game that everyone said, oh my god, we love Lil Wayne. Oh my god, the legend, the GOAT Lil Wayne. It's the same thing with Drake. The reality is Kanye's beef, part of Kanye's beef with Drake is how big Drake has become. He's even acknowledged it in interviews like, look, like, you know, I was cool giving Drake, you know, Find Your Love, but I began to realize like he's getting a little bit too big. He's getting a little bit too successful. I'm not really cool with that. And we know how Kanye's ego is. We know that Kanye perceives himself to be the greatest of all time. We know this. Kanye, we saw what Kanye did with Drake back in 2018. Come over here. Come to Wyoming. We're going to work on your album. We're going to work on it. We're going to make sure it's amazing. Instead, they work on Kanye's album. Kanye asked Drake about his personal life and when he's going to drop. Drake tells Kanye about his son. He tells Kanye about when he's going to drop. Lo and behold, Pusha T disses Drake concerning his son. Lo and behold, Good Music starts dropping their projects around the time that Drake drops. Like, Kanye has always been bothered by the fact that he's been eclipsed by Drake since like 2013, 14. Completely eclipsed. Kanye's actions and perception and behavior toward Drake has betrayed everything we as a culture have said on the internet. Ye got more classics than Drake. Drake can't touch Ye. Ye don't feel that way. Talib Kweli gave an interview in which he spoke about Drake living up the street from Ye bothered Ye so much he couldn't function musically. He felt uncomfortable. He felt pressured by Drake just living down the street from him. And when Drake left, he said he felt more creative and capable of making music. You can come on the internet and say that Kanye's better than Drake and Kanye's got more classics than Drake and Drake will never touch Ye. But we all know that that ship sailed a long time ago. And Kanye knows this. Part of the reason why they beef is Kanye can't accept the fact that, bro, like Drake done did it already. It's too late. Like the culture is so adamant to never give Drake his flowers until he's dead or retired that there's no point in Drake respond. Why the fuck would I respond? It's not 2015 anymore. It's 2024. Drake respond for what? For y'all to say it's garbage even when it's good and give Kanye the W, give Kendrick the W for what? I really don't see the point. So, as it pertains to Drake needing to respond, he better not respond. He shouldn't respond. For what? Y'all ain't gonna fuck with it no way. And Kendrick, as smart as he is, probably has other rounds in the chamber. If Drake's smart, he'll wait. See what Kendrick's next move is. See what Future's next move is. See what all of their next moves are. Wait a minute. Figure things out. Don't be too hasty like you were with Pusha T because he obliterated Drake. Killed Drake. That's my opinion. I think Drake should not respond at all. I think Drake should remind them of exactly the difference between himself and them. I'm going to ignore y'all. I'm not going to make a diss response. I'm going to keep making great albums that continue to outsell and outstream and outlive yours. People are going to listen to these albums far after they've been released, and people are going to listen to these albums more than they're going to listen to yours. Drake's best response to this beef is to show Kendrick, Ross, Nav, Metro, and Future, none of y'all can compete with me as musicians. I will continuously outsell you, outstream you, outperform you, and my music will live longer than yours. Kendrick's music will not live as long as Drake's. Future's music will not live as long as Drake's. Ross's music will not live as long as Drake's. I'm not sure what Nav is up to. Haven't heard his music in a while. I'm not sure what he's up to. I'm pretty sure Nav is a rapper and a producer, but even still, Nav's not competing with Drake musically. There's a massive gap between all of these guys and Drake individually. And if Drake was smart, he would realize and recognize that his ammo is who he is. You are the superior musician. Don't walk into a battle you can't win. Win the war. Show the world that, look, the fuck I gotta respond to these niggas for? Y'all ain't gonna say I'm right. Y'all, even if I respond to these niggas and completely demolish them, y'all are gonna sit there and act like you didn't hear what I said. So what I'm gonna continue to do is do what you will acknowledge. Release good music, at least partially acknowledge. Release good music that you're gonna continuously listen to, enjoy. Whether you're at the club, in the car, at your crib, enjoying yourself, I'm gonna continue to make good music that y'all love and go on about my business. Because at the end of the day, y'all aren't going to stream Kendrick more than you stream me. You're not going to stream Ross more than you stream me. You're not going to stream Nav, Metro Boomin, Kendrick. No, you're not going to stream any of these guys more than you stream me. So why would I sit here and put myself in a losing position when I know at the end of the day, all of y'all like my music more than you like theirs? So why would I waste my time? There's no point in Drake wasting his time. So that's what I think Drake should do, is just not say shit. If Drake was smart, you know what I'm saying? If Drake was smart, he would keep doing what he was doing. Go to Turks or some shit. Go to Turks, whatever he be doing over there. Keep it up. Keep doing the same shit. And don't let these niggas try to rock the boat and coup attempt their way onto the throne, because they can't take the throne the normal way. They gotta use career-ending diss tracks to take the throne. Don't give it to them. So that's my perception. That's my opinion. Let me know what y'all think in the comment section below. Like, comment, subscribe. I'm out.